Today we're checking out the Bring Arts Final Fantasy Another Form Sephiroth. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are having a great day, and let's get into it. Hey, what is going on guys? So today we're checking out the Bring Arts Final Fantasy Another Form Sephiroth. So yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to check out this video. Any and all support you guys dropping this video is much appreciated. Leave a suggestion in the comments below for what video you guys want to see next, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here's our front. We have a nice window display to showcase the figure inside the box. So if you want to keep the figure inside the packaging, you can, and you will still get a very nice look at the figure. Here's a look at the side of the packaging. So we have a nice image of the figure itself, and here's a look at the other side of the packaging. So we have some screenshots of the figure in various poses, and down here we have some text, credits and logos on the making of the figure. Okay, and so here's a quick look at the packaging for my other Bring Arts Kingdom Hearts 3 figures. So let's take a look at what we have here. So first up we have the second form Sora figure. Next up we have the Pirate Sora. Here we have Kairi and Riku, and down here we have the King, Axel, the Shadow 2-pack, Another Form Cloud Strife, and Another Form Sephiroth. So yeah, there's a quick look at the packaging for the other figures in this series. And so here's a look at the inside of the packaging, and so let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So first up we have the figure himself. Looks to be a very nice piece. I really cannot wait to check him out. Here at the back we have the swords. Here we have a few pairs of interchangeable hands, and here we have some wing parts, and we have the display stands, and of course we have the other packaging. So yeah, there's a quick look at the packaging and the accessories. Let's go ahead and get the figure out of the box and fully assembled, and we will take a closer look. So yeah, stay tuned guys. Alright guys, and so here we have the figure out of the packaging, and yeah, for the most part it's a pretty nice figure. I've got to say the sculpting and the paint job on this figure are really fantastic. The figure does have some problems in terms of the weight of the figure. I think this wing is far too heavy for the figure. The joints on this figure just aren't sturdy enough to support the weights of this wing. So yeah, that's one problem that I've encountered with this figure. Apart from that, it is a pretty nice figure. As I mentioned, it's got a nice sculpt and a nice paint job, and it comes with a nice variety of accessories as well. Overall, it's a pretty nice piece, but I just wanted to mention that issue of the figure. So yeah guys, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Bring Arts Final Fantasy Another Form Sephiroth. Okay, and so let's take a look at the figure. So here is the head sculpt. So I think the head sculpt is pretty good. I quite like the paint job, especially around his eyes. As you can see, his eyes are painted a very bright green type of color, and they stand out quite a bit. His eyebrows and his hair are painted grey, and even his lips are painted a very light pink color. So yeah, very nice job here, and I quite like the sculpting of the face as well. Here's a look at the hairpiece. You can really see every bit of strands of hair just sculpted in there. It's quite nicely done. And the paint job of the hair is quite, I would say, sparkly or shiny, which I think is very fitting for the character. And so moving down here to the chest piece of the figure. And so as you can see, it's a much different design from how Sephiroth looks in Final Fantasy VII. I do quite like the look of this Sephiroth. I think it's a pretty cool design, but I don't think anything will beat the original design of Sephiroth. But anyhow, here's a look at the chest. As you can see, he's got these straps over his chest, and these straps are sculpted directly onto the figure. And down here at the waist, he's got a whole bunch of these belts sculpted in there, and once again, they are sculpted directly onto the figure. And here's a look at these shoulder pads, which I think are pretty much the exact same shoulder pads as how they looked in Final Fantasy Advent Children. But moving down here to his hands, he's kind of like got this, I'm really not sure what this is. Is that like a fin or like some type of wing? I really don't know what it is, but it looks pretty cool. It's definitely a very unique design. Here's a look at the other shoulder pad on the figure, and his other hand holding the blade. I mean, this blade is extremely large. It's got to be like one of the largest blades in video games. But yeah, very, very cool. And here's a look at the wing. So this wing is removable. It splits into two pieces, and it's pretty easy to insert onto the figure, so you really won't have much of a problem. But yeah, here's how it looks. Super, super nicely detailed. And I also love the paint job. I love how it fades from dark blue to bright blue. And so here's a look at the legs. And here's a look at the bottom of his cloak piece, which is pretty nicely sculpted. I quite like the red paint job along the rim of the cloak. It looks pretty good. It's quite a nice contrast. But yeah, here's a look at the legs and the feet, which has some nice kind of folds and creases sculpted in there. So yeah, there's a look at the front of the figure. And so here's a look at the side of the figure. So we have a nice profile of the face. And there's a look at the side of the hairpiece as well. Super nicely sculpted. Moving down here to the side of the shoulder pads and the side of this wing or fin, whatever it's supposed to be. But yeah, there's how it looks. Here's the hand holding the sword, and a quick look at the side of the body piece as well. Here's a look at the wing, which I love the detailing on this thing. It's so nicely done. It's got like nice feather details in there, and yeah, it just looks really, really nice. And so here's the side of the legs and the cloak piece. I love the sculpting work here, how the cloak kind of flicks out like this. It's pretty cool looking. And down here's a look at the sides of the legs and the feet. And so here's a look at the other side of the figure. And so once again, we have a nice profile of the face. And you can see his ear in there as well. Quite nicely sculpted. Once again, we have the long flowing hairpiece, which goes all the way to the back. And here's the side of the shoulder pads and the arm. And so moving down here to the cloak piece. And so once again, super nice sculpt. It's also got like a matte finish to the figure, which is a really nice touch. And there's a look at the sides of the body and the legs. And down here we have the boots. And so here's the back of the figure. And so here we have the hairpiece. I love the sculpting here. It's such a sharp sculpt. And I love the paint job. As you can see, it's painted silver, but it's kind of got like tints of blue in there, which just adds a nice touch to the hairpiece. It looks really good. And so here's a look at the wing. And I love the sculpting here. It just looks so good. We really have to admire every bit of detail that Square Enix puts into this wing. It looks amazing. And as I mentioned, I love how the paint job gradually fades from like dark blue to light blue. It just adds a nice contrast to the wing. But yeah, there's a look at the one wing itself. Very, very cool. And it's moving down here to the back of the cloak piece and the back of the legs. Alright, and so here's a demo on the articulation for the figure. So right here at the head, he has a ball joint in there, but it is quite restricted because the hairpiece is quite long. It kind of restricts the articulation. These shoulder pad pieces can move, although they're not on a joint. They're just on a separate piece of plastic, which is attached to the jacket. As for the shoulders, he has ball hinge joints in there. We have a swivel at the bicep, and we have ball hinge joints at the elbow and the wrist. Inside the torso piece, we have a ball joint in there, but I don't even know why they included this ball joint, because you can't even move this joint because it's completely attached to the jacket piece. Here at the waist we also have another ball joint in there as well, and the same goes for the hips. We have ball joints. Here at the knee we have a single hinge joints, and here at the ankle we have a single hinge joint as well. Here at the back of the wing, so we have a ball hinge joints on the wing, which it actually moves pretty good. You can pretty much move it any which way you want, and same goes for the top portion of the wing. It's on a ball hinge joints as well. So yeah, there's a quick look at the articulation for the figure. Alright guys, and so here's a quick look at my entire collection of Bring Art's Kingdom Hearts figures. So the only figures left are Roxas, Aqua, Ventus and Xion. So yeah, I really cannot wait to add those figures to my collection. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So first up we have the Pirate Sora. Such a nice figure. It's definitely the best Sora that Bring Arts have made. Next up we have Kairi, and here we have Axel. At the back here we have Another Form Sephiroth, and here we have Another Form Cloud Strife. Next up we have the normal version of Sora, and here we have Riku. And here at the front we have the Shadow 2-pack, and we have Mickey the King. So yeah guys, there's a quick look at my entire collection of Bring Arts Kingdom Hearts figures. So that was a look at the Bring Arts Final Fantasy Another Form Sephiroth. So yeah guys, it's a pretty nice figure. I mean, it's by no means a perfect figure. It does have some issues, but I mean, if you guys are a big fan of the character of Sephiroth, then yeah, you will really enjoy this figure. And yeah, it's just an awesome representation of the character. So yeah, if you guys are a big fan of Final Fantasy or Sephiroth, then I would highly recommend picking up the figure. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Leave a suggestion in the comments below for what video you guys want to see next, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Alright, bye guys.